An operation targeting around 2,000 undocumented families in the U.S. resulted in only 35 arrests. ICE says that the roundups focused on undocumented immigrants who were already ordered to be deported. The agency says that the operation is ongoing and it aims to arrest more people with open removal orders. Joining me now from Washington is Camilo Montoya-Galvez. He's a politics reporter for CBSNews.com. So, Camilo, what more do we know about this operation?
Yeah, so earlier today, the agency unveiled, Rena, the quote-unquote results of this series of roundups targeting families again with open deportation orders. And well, Rena, the figures suggest that the operation was even more limited in scope than expected. ICE agents arrested 18 members of the families they were targeting and conducted 17 so-called collateral arrests. These are apprehensions of people who are undocumented but who were not directly targeted by the specific operations. And remember, Rena, something important to note is that the agency was targeting about 2,000 of these families with open orders of removal.
Yeah, so when you look, Camilo, at these numbers, the number of undocumented immigrants apprehended was really far lower than the targeted goal. What can you read or extrapolate from that? Does it mean that the efforts from immigration activists to deter these arrests were effective?
That's a great question, Rena. We know that the president's threats of mass deportations prompted advocacy groups to mount this really unprecedented campaign to inform undocumented immigrants of their rights and to prepare them really for a potential encounter with ICE agents. Although ICE is not going to tell us how much that specific campaign hindered or derailed their operations, ICE acting director actually, Matthew Albence, told us today that some of his agents were surveilled during the sweeps. He said that produced safety concerns, but didn't really elaborate on the extent or nature of the surveillance he cited.
These undocumented families, are they still bracing for more arrests? What are they saying?
Yes, immigrant communities are still on the edge across the country, especially those who are part of mixed status households, families in which some members are undocumented, but others are green card holders or even U.S. citizens. These are especially children. And, you know, Director Albence stressed today to us that the operation is ongoing and that his agents will continue to target these families with open removal orders.
And we know it's not just children being targeted. ICE says that there was a separate group of operations targeting people with criminal charges that yielded some 900 arrests. What do we know, Camilo, about that effort?
Right, so these are more routine operations, which ICE called cross-check operations. They target individuals with removal orders, not necessarily families, and people with criminal convictions. The agency said today that it had apprehended nearly 900 of these people during these cross-check operations since mid-May.
I want to ask you about some of your reporting on a rule change from the Trump administration. We know the Department of Homeland Security announced they're going to be expediting the removal of some undocumented immigrants. What more do we know about this move? And what's really the reasoning behind this?
Yeah, this is an important move, Rena. The administration is significantly expanding the number of undocumented immigrants it can deport swiftly without a hearing in immigration court. Now, that is key. The change, which goes into effect today, will allow ICE agents to apply the practice of expedited removal. This is a fast-track deportation process to undocumented immigrants who across the country who fail to demonstrate to an ICE agent that they've been living in the country continuously for 2 years or more. So it is really a dramatic shift in the way these so-called expedited removals have been applied in the past, because they've been applied usually towards recently arrived migrants encountered by ICE agents near the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, the administration says that this will alleviate the backlog, the historic backlog in the immigration court system, but advocates believe the new change will allow the government to deport undocumented immigrants with deep roots in communities and who have been living here for more than a year without offering them due process.
So do you think this rule change will face some legal consequences, some challenges?
Oh, of course, and the ACLU has already pledged that it will file a lawsuit to try to stop it.
Camilo Montoya-Galvez. Camilo, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Rena.